be fair, though, it is a horrifying thing when you're trying to paint this cool picture of a character and then they slip on a banana peel.
Well,
right?
that's
like,
important.
It's like, Christ. Like,
well, this
why?
this is why I had the slip on the banana peel cartoon in the Whoop seminar. But
Right.
but also it goes back. I was actually one of the people. I don't know if I'm the first person to have put this in a game, but in Sorcerer and Sword, I talked all about how, especially for a sorceress, a sword and sorcery protagonist, you should think carefully about failure, and that it would often be circumstantial,
Right.
rather than competence, which was at work, and that there, and I talked a lot about that. I said, have the role fails, you fail at what you're trying to do. That doesn't necessarily mean that the character is incompetent at what they were doing. Right? You could have the character dance beautifully, but it doesn't work out for this particular partner in terms of seducing them like you had hoped. Your character's sword stroke is, phenomenal and terrifying and all the rest of it, but it just so happens that the guy did duck. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's also, you'll see this in Trollbabe. In Trollbabe, there's the narration rules are highly specific. When the Trollbabe character succeeds, the game master narrates it, and it is explicit that they are to honor what the player was saying that Trollbabe wanted to do and how they wanted to do it. So it's handed to you to complete the impressiveness of what the player said. Whatever the player said, complete it and honor it. That's what the game master does. And then a failed roll is narrated by the player. And what people
interesting.
But
you should play it. It's
right.
great.
Thank you. The important thing about it is I have noted that many players are happy to do the same. They will mitigate the appearance of the character when they need to. They don't want the character to look stupid. They don't want something dumb to happen or them to do something dumb. So let them narrate that way when they want to, because in the minority of cases, when the moment comes when the player does want to hose their character, they will do it better than any game master will ever do it.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so that's what I said. I said, let the player's own instincts determine when, and the bad luck of some Trollbabes, I like cover my face with my hands sometimes when I hear what the player says. It's like, oh no, that's the worst. That is just the worst. And so it's, and so I'm not saying every game has to be like that, but those particular features suited Trollbabe very well. Right. So
that actually recently I had a moment. I'm playing Sorcerer and Sword of Rod and some other people, and my amazing kind of semi-evil sorceress got grabbed and dragged out of this tree by someone who was supposedly just some scout. And I said to Rod, this guy, please, can this guy not be some random asshole? And suddenly he was a knight, right? He suddenly is a knight that dragged me out of this, which I think is So
it's an interesting point. It's explicit in Sorcerer and Sword that failures need to be somewhat managed in terms of character image. And I do like to point out that in the Howard Conan stories, there are times when he takes a fist to the face and goes down. There are times when he, when somebody matches him with a sword fight and he has to get out of there, or, they don't have a chance to finish or something. There are plenty of times, especially given the era of writing, when he just takes a blow that he didn't get a chance to see. And goes, gets knocked out, right? That happens. And the whole notion of the 80s action hero who never has any such thing happen to him, that most people associate with Conan, is definitely not the case in the Howard stories. Right. So there's plenty of times when he's, we find him covered with injuries, having survived in a swamp for 3 days by eating, animals raw.
Right.
There are times when, the story starts and says things have gone very badly.
Mm-hmm.
This is not starting well. Conan does not win every battle. He does not, lead every army to victory. He does not, he has really bad days some days.
And he has to learn and learn like how to win against his enemies. He doesn't just go up to them and butcher them with a sword. He often is learning these. It
varies slightly by story for Howard, and then as soon as you get into the non-Howard stories, then it all changes. Then he's Mary Sue with a sword, right?
Right.
So, anyway, I'm really glad that we're trying these different games and doing things with them, and I'm really happy that we sort of. I don't know. I mean, I very much doubt that without us, anybody would be honoring the Duster idea. They're unique. You cannot find. I mean, I can't. If we played some other kind of lizard people, I could go online and find 1,000 lizard men images. You will not find illustrations that allow you to say, "Oh, my Duster looks like this." They're not there. They're not there. And so this is a unique fantasy, notion that is only really going to be honored by people playing this game. And so maybe, as with some of the other fantasy heartbreakers, I know a lot of people are finally starting to make it their business. Robbie more than anybody, but he's not alone, are starting to make it their business to play these games. Right. So hopefully somebody will get around to this one sooner or later, and who knows what they'll discover or do with it. I mean, we did nothing with the psionics, nothing with the magic to speak of. So, that's
a lot we didn't even touch.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the focusing where we did was a good idea, I think, but we don't really know all the game. Yeah.
But I would like to see what somebody else makes of it.
Absolutely.
Actually.
Yeah.
Because it will be so different.
No, it's true. All right, everybody. I think it's time. We are proceeding into the later hours. And just so you know, Sam, it's been quite a week, of play and teaching about play. I've really been looking forward to this, but it is also... I kind of wish that they had offered me to teach a course on design. And I consider that not the proper first topic. The proper first topic is play.
Right. Yeah.
Then this proper second topic is what are the phenomena of play. Right? So first you experience ecology, then you learn metabolism and ecology, and real ecology, right? First you experience, natural history, right? Animals. And then you go and then you learn some metabolism and some basic ecology and stuff like that, some genetics, which you can't see, right? When you look at the animals, you don't know that's happening. So you experience the animals and where they live. Then you go and you learn this stuff and you go, wow, that's what's going on. That's amazing, right? And then you say, what if an ecology looked like this, right? Or what if the genetics worked like that,
Right.
But you don't want to start with that.
Yeah,
people don't know any genetics. They don't know any animals or barely any, right? So, And so I'm kind of, I feel like I'm teaching, I have to teach too much, right, at once.
Right. Oh my God.
So, I kind of wish it were, more attenuated. Because I keep having to use examples from games, then I have to stop and say, well, in this game, this is what you do. Whereas, where if everybody came loaded for bear with 7 games that they just played in the last year, right? Helma, what was that?
No, I'm just listening.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got to be said. A lot of people who consider themselves very, a staunch role player, they might have played 2 different games in the past 10 years of their life.
If they played 7 or 10 games, there are probably variations on the same method.
Yes.
I mean, if you've played Shadowrun, some branch of D&D, and Call of Cthulhu and Vampire, you're going to say, I have a broad range of systems, and I'm going to be looking at you and going, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Given that there do seem to be a fair sprinkling of people around the globe who know my name well enough to vilify me, right, to say terrible things about me, then you would think at least they would, have got the message that maybe they could play a broader range of games, at the very least.
Right.
I mean,
but
all right. Well, we should talk later certainly about that, because I was pressuring Ross in the UK he was saying, I'm thinking of playing some Apocalypse World, and I've been pressuring him to get that together so I can be a character.
I would absolutely I would love to play a character in Apocalypse World.
Yeah. All right. Well, take care. I will see you all later.
All right.
Thank you for everything.